Paul Murphy, another All-Ireland final for you, another All-Ireland final for Kilkenny, but it has been one hell of a journey.
Huge journey, yeah. It's part and parcel of it. Probably makes it that bit more sweeter that you've had to fight in so many matches. You've had your ups and downs throughout the year and throughout the last few years as well. But that's what makes it so special. It'd be very easy if it was just a case of turn up, win and walk away into an All-Ireland final. That's not the case anymore. We're really fighting hard, but you love the journey. You love the journey of fighting. You don't know what's going to happen on any given day, but here we are, and it's just absolutely brilliant.
That was an epic semi-final. I know all matches are tough, you've just mentioned that, but what about that? The Limerick match, you did to them what they have been doing to teams over the last few years, but in saying that, still nothing won.
No, still exactly nothing won. You can have these great matches throughout the year, but the important thing is keep the feet on the ground. Until you have Liam McCarthy in your hands, you can't take anything for granted. Brilliant match, but it's only one step on the journey, really. It was just another step up, and we have to raise the game again if we want to try and beat Tipperary. They're the All-Ireland champions. It was very easy to focus that you're playing the All-Ireland champions, you're playing the farm team of the last 2 years. You know that if your game isn't 100%, they're going to beat you. So for all the players, we just said, look, you're just going to have to go for every single ball, fight as hard as you can, and lads going to have to come off the bench to keep this show on the road as well. And that was exactly the case, but it made it all that bit more special when the final whistle blew, that this enormous challenge, we took it on, we did what was needed to be done, and now we're in All-Ireland final.
Looking at the team, you probably don't like hearing this, but you're one of the veterans now, Paul. What are you going for, medal number 5, is it?
This is 5, thankfully, yeah. But yeah, look, I suppose players retire over the years and you suddenly find yourself drifting in this position that you're one of the elder fellas. Look, it's just great to still be there. So many lads, I suppose, have drifted away throughout the years and haven't had this longevity. It's great to be part of it. It's great to be still fit and healthy and fighting for All-Ireland, regardless if it's your first one, your fifth one or your 10th one or whatever it is. You're just really living in the moment. You're not thinking that it's 5 or whatever. You're just thinking 2019, there's an All-Ireland there to be won. Wouldn't it be great if we could just get over the line and do it?
I didn't highlight that question to make it feel old. I just was highlighting it in the fact that with the young players that have come into the panel and inexperienced players, it's a remarkable job that Brian has done. I'm looking at Hugh Lawler, full-back, Adrian Mullen, who was a club championship in his top pocket with Ballyhale on St Patrick's Day. Yeah. There's been a lot of changes and big changes in the last few years, and it's really working well now.
Well, it is, yeah, and I think it's a testament more so as well to the clubs and to the underage structures as well, because these players are coming through from that. You see, like you said, Adrian Mullen, he was, I suppose, he hardened up through the club championship. He played real tough hurling against men, which is senior level at club level. And so when he stepped over, it wasn't a huge step to have to come into inter-county hurling because he'd been there. Hugh Lawler, he's playing for Loughlin Gales, he's playing senior hurling for his club in a very tough club championship as well. That's the big thing about, I suppose, Kilkenny hurling, and I'm sure Tipperary and these boys will say the same. It's the fact that there's such enormous challenges at those levels that players are able to step into this environment, and they've been tested to a certain degree. Now they have to step up again, but that's where these players have been tested, and they're, I suppose, raw materials coming in, but they're the right lads that you want coming in, the likes of John Donnelly and these fellas and Paddy Deegan. They've just brilliant attitudes. They've been tested, they have the hurling, and this is the next challenge which they love doing. So look, it's brilliant to see it coming into the dressing room, and it just seems to be that there's more lads knocking at the door as well, so it's great. We're privileged to have it in Kilkenny.
And if we rewind a few months, Paul, in relation to the Leinster Championship, there was a few tough battles in there. Dublin in the first match in particular asked questions of Kilkenny, and then Galway came to town and defeated Kilkenny. So what was your feeling that time, or what was the lads' feeling? To dig yourselves up and come back to where you are now is remarkable in itself. But what was the good feeling, or how did you feel about that after Galway beat you? What was going through your head?
It was disappointing when Galway bet us, because we'd obviously put in a great performance against Dublin and got off to a brilliant start, and we were now teed up that if you go out there now and beat Galway, you'd be putting yourself into a Leinster final position. Unfortunately we didn't, but I think what was a great aspect of the team is that the team went, well, look, we have a challenge, we have to go down here now to Wexford Park and get a result, and that'll get us back where we want to be. So it was a case of there was no panic. Disappointing we didn't win, but show me a team that hasn't lost a match this year. Every team has lost a match. What has probably gotten us this far is the fact that we turned around and said, okay, where's the next challenge, what are we going to do, and we just took on that challenge. Wexford Park was another enormous battle that we went down into, got a draw out of it, but it's a savage atmosphere down in Wexford Park. They're a great team, they've shown it, and we did what was necessary to get us to a Leinster final. I think that's been a real characteristic of this team, that okay, we've gotten our knocks, but we've stood back up and went, right, how do we correct this, and we've done it.
Tip got their knocks as well, but at the end of the day, it's Tip and Kilkenny on Sunday, so it's back to the old Tipperary regime again.
Well, sure it is, yeah. And we watched their match. They're like, to go down to 14 men with 25 minutes to go, I think it was, and to come back, you're 5 points down. It just shows what a great team they are, and we obviously have great respect for them, because we've had so many battles throughout the years. You can't not play a team so many times and not have a respect, and probably is what the rivalry is born out of. Is the fact that you go toe to toe every time. Lads just hurl fairly, they hurl hard, and it's this kind of, regardless what happens, neither team seems to go away. You're back there and you're fighting again. But look, when you start out hurling, you want to play against the best teams, you want to have the best rivalry. That's what Kilkenny and Tipperary have. I'm yet to play a bad match against them. Every time we've played, there are these enormous matches, whether it's a league match in February in Nolan Park or it's Crow Park in front of 82,000. The teams just seem to throw off the shackles and go at each other, and it's brilliant to be part of it, and that's what you want.
You're looking forward to it, Paul?
Yeah, look, can't wait. Not wishing the time away at all, because it's great to be enjoying the run up to it, enjoying still going into training Sunday evenings up in Nolan Park. But look, when the match comes around, it's where you want to be, it's where you dream of being, so we're looking forward to it. Yeah.
Well, on behalf of everybody in KCLR, we wish you the very best, Paul. Do what you do all the time. You're living best, and we look forward to seeing you in Croke Park Sunday.
So, thanks a million, Brendan.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Paul. Good man.